Hey everyone, one of the rarest phenomenon I've seen that always shocks me is someone with a pretty big channel but barely scrapes by with percent of the views on their videos. I've always thought that your sub count will always help out your views, no matter how lazy or low quality the videos are. But I've seen the story today of the YouTuber Def Noodles. I guess it definitely is possible. I mean, with 500,000 subs, you would expect his videos to at least do somewhat good. But when you see that on a good day, he gets only 1,000 views, it feels like he sold off his channel to someone else. Unfortunately, he didn't, as I found out that he was actually in a lot of dramas where they were all completely his fault. If it was a one-time thing where he did something cringy, I would feel somewhat bad for him. But even though his video is only like 10 minutes long, it is packed full of embarrassing stories where he just acted horribly. It does give you a bit of comfort knowing that, at the very least, you can't blame anyone else but just him.
Def Noodles, 500,000 subscribers but only a few hundred views per video. The total collapse of his channel had been building for months beforehand, although the final nail in the coffin was an ill-fated beef with Penguin Zero, who also covered news and drama, although with one major difference: each creator's level of integrity. While Cr1tikal only covers topics that he's qualified to speak on, Def Noodles began to wreck his image by covering anything and everything with a sloppy, embarrassing, complete lack of research.
Oh yeah, and I remember this guy. Yeah, I remember whenever people brought up like commentary channels, he was always like the bottom of the barrel one they brought up. Yeah, I remember now.
A comedy TikToker named Sammy Sens posted an obviously fake James Charles chat log.
Oh, don't tell me, God.
Meme, making it obvious that the screenshot was an edited joke. Well, Def Noodles rushed to his Twitter writing, "Who could have seen this coming? James Charles exposed by 14-year-old boy, apparently not even..."
Oh, I bet you he felt so snide for that. Like, oh my, who could have guessed it? James Charles is a groomer. God damn.
When James Charles would have still been a minor himself. To make Def Noodles' obvious lack of research worse, he'd then promote a second, even faker screenshot, with Def Noodles responding.
Right. It's funny how important it is to have a sense of humor, or else you take everything you see on TikTok as seriously.
Tone is overly serious because it's meant to be satirical.
The way I present
only 30 likes.
So serious, that's what's supposed to be the satire.
However, this move backfired terribly, as Keemstar would give Def Noodles a taste of his own fake satire. Def Noodles has allegedly groomed girls from ages 12 to 15. Big YouTuber source, victims are scared of him and wish to stay anonymous but may come forward soon. Def Noodles has declined to give us a comment on these allegations made against him. With Def
Is it actually real, or was he trying to just mess with him?
In a terrible way, by lawsuit.
I am now suing him to clear my name of these false allegations and to hold him accountable for knowingly making false accusations.
And as summarized by a comment,
his voice is so grating, God. I'm suing this guy because he said I'm a groomer. I am not.
Noodles' life completely fell apart. Because despite suing Keemstar for falsely tweeting about him being...
Right, I think there should be a law that prevents YouTubers from opening lawsuits. It doesn't feel that severe to immediately bring lawyers and a judge to the case.
But while adding "put this MF on a watch list," he looks mad suspicious. When people called Def Noodles out for doing the same thing he was suing Keemstar for, Def Noodles claimed he hadn't wronged Papa Gut in any way because 1. My bio says comedian, 2. Since 2019 I've said I covered news as a joke and wasn't meant to be taken seriously, and 3. Saying someone looks like a pedo isn't an accusation, especially when they objectively look like a pedo. As a result, Papa Gut broke down live on stream.
This is a joke to you. It's a game to you.
He looks like a nice guy, but people calling him a pedo.
Real to me.
After which Def Noodles took a screenshot of Papa Gut crying and turned it into a piece of his own merch. Comments such as
That's really an actual lawsuit, yeah. You're making money out of him crying on stream. That can't be right.
Noodles.
Your platform is going away because you're unjustifiably targeting me.
Which began to show in Def Noodles' following, as for the first time ever he began to lose subscribers. Although rather than recalibrating...
To me, that's mind-blowing, because you have to mess up really bad to lose subs. No matter how inactive you are, or just like how little you interact, you might get like a small passive stream of new people coming in, but you lose subs. Yeah, that's an awful sign.
It almost instantly jumped into another controversy that would ultimately end everything: a beef with Penguin Zero. In addition to reporting the news, Def Noodles had made the claim that he was apparently a professional comedian. He'd state, "I have a background in comedy. I trained literally for years as an improviser. I've performed in basically every major theater and comedy venue in New York and LA."
That's like a dream when you say like, I studied Reddit, you blow up. This is the exact kind of energy.
Which Def Noodles went on to prove by showing an awkward, unfunny clip of him performing live.
Yeah, I got boy problems.
Def Noodles clearly couldn't see that he wasn't as good as he thought. However, this
What?
didn't stop him from opening his...
You told me that fake laugh in the background wasn't genuine? What?
An event called Super Roast Battle. It ran for
Oh,
an hour and a
God.
half and was streamed to a live audience on both Twitch and YouTube, leaving no space for mercy if the event was a total failure. And a total failure, the event...
Please tell me he just rips off the cables with the camera when he freaks out.
The first 24 minutes saw the audience sitting there waiting, and it's therefore no surprise they weren't exactly hyped when Def Noodles finally started the show.
Alright, LA, are you ready?
Oh, they're so tired. Christ. Were they paid to do it or just his poor friends? His poor fake friends.
These 24 silent minutes were spent setting up the unprepared lighting and sound, which clearly hadn't been checked or rehearsed.
Hey, Steven, turn on the lights. No, wrong lights. That's the house lights. Almost there. Wrong lights. So the lights are actually right here. I think on mic one.
It's one of those things where like your parents force you to take you somewhere like when you're a kid and it's just pain the entire time.
Roasts actually started.
You look like you woke up in a dumpster.
Probably. You're like my cousin if you were a girl.
Thank you. I bet you cried when you got those tattoos.
I did.
Bruh, I like roasts as much as the next guy. It's only funny when there's a not comedian, but like a star, like an actor, because you see so much of them, you can recognize their own like quirky characteristics. What can you make fun of this guy? Like no one likes him to the point that he can laugh at a
The world
roast.
had ever heard, in the process picking up a 1-week Twitch ban for something said by one of the roasters. The event was so heavily criticized by the internet.
Def Noodles, this guy is just something else. I cannot believe what I just witnessed. I think I'm still trying to recover from it. This was honestly one of the more embarrassing things I've ever seen.
Def Noodles convinced himself the show was successful since it started a trend on Twitter, although it seemed this attitude changed completely. When Penguin Zero uploaded, I've never seen something this horrible.
This was a complete disaster on a level I haven't seen before. Imagine Fire Festival, but if it actually happened and was worse than anyone could have imagined.
Critical
I haven't seen the full thing, but it can't be that bad. God.
Nobody knew each other. Literally nobody. So all they can do is roast
What?
each other's appearance because they don't know them.
Before offering a couple roasts of his own.
Like, this is what happens at like a middle school lunch table. It's like that episode of SpongeBob. Hey, so what's up with salt shakers? Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
bro.
However, Def Noodles couldn't handle his basic...
You know it has to be bad when he's laughing that hard. When you make his dry, unexpressionless face laugh.
battles. Def Noodles spent the video sarcastically pretending he wasn't hurt.
Greatest crime that I committed was to have caused the great Moist Critical to cringe. Would like to extend my sincerest apologies for causing you to
Right.
cringe.
I'm not trying to make fun of him, but is he called Deaf Noodles because he has like a deaf accent? It sounds like he's 1 ear is deaf, and he still has the ability to talk, but not that well.
Moist Critical.
Joking he deserved the highest form of punishment for his failed comedy show.
Not only should I have been arrested and sent to the gulags, but I should have also been forced to live
Gulags.
the rest of my miserable existence.
Oh, I just seen the dislike count. God, 10K.
At max volume in the background, and 2 CIA torture experts electrocute the tip of my penis with tweezers.
In the 6 hours that followed, Def Noodles received a 90% dislike ratio, a loss of
That's
3,000 subscribers, and
Oh
thousands
my
and
God.
thousands of comments completely and utterly wrecking him. This is obviously trying to be ironic, but the layers of actual self-pity and insecurity make this very hard to watch. You can tell Charlie hurt his feelings. This is cringier than the roast battle itself, so
To
much
be fair, he should be thankful that he at least streamed it on his Twitch. Otherwise, I don't think he did that well, to be fair.
Lesson in how not to handle controversy.
However, the most notable announcement for the previous 2 videos was that Def Noodles had doubled down by scheduling another roast battle,
The only way for me to make this situation right again is to produce another roast.
which somehow became even worse than the first one.
Alright, so Def Noodles hosted another one of his roast battles, and he somehow outdid himself. I could not believe what I was watching. I've never never seen anything like this.
Because rather than casting a bunch of local comics, Def Noodles chose to invite his mortal enemy Salvo Pancakes, who filled the audience with his fans.
Oh, his mortal enemy, number one.
The audience sat there waiting even longer than the first battle, and when Def Noodles finally walked out from the back, his roasts were physical rather than verbal.
What the fuck? What an awful entrance, legitimately.
Pancakes, he'd get his revenge.
Why, as an audience, would you stay longer than that when you fight your way for 2 hours and he just pushed you off stage?
Show. This should have been the perfect chance for Def Noodles to roast his enemy, although in true Def Noodles fashion, he hadn't prepared material and would instead get roasted by Salvo.
Honestly now, I hate how desperate he was to make this show, because you can tell he rented out the cheapest warehouse in LA, which, even though it's cheap, probably insanely expensive, but still it's so bad. I don't imagine the acoustics is that good, so it just sounds awful.
By security, with the second Super Roast Battle's terrible mismanagement, giving Penguin Zero a fresh new video.
At first I thought this was staged, because it looks like something straight out of the WWE. I was half expecting Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out with a beer and a chair and hit Def Noodles in the back with it.
With comments such as, "I like how Charlie has had this same format and style for years, and is still funnier than Def Noodles would ever be. Def Noodles' image was dying with every passing hour." The headshot came with Penguin Zero's 4th Def Noodles video, totaling over 10 million views worth of Def Noodles criticism, which could have easily been avoided by ignoring Critical's first video. When combined with all of his previous controversy, Def Noodles' monthly viewership went from 4 million to 400,000, although despite already losing 90% of his fan base, he somehow still had further to fall. His news-related
That is actually like that one Greek legend where the guy gets his liver ripped out by an eagle but grows back, so it's just pain non-stop.
Incident, every video was still getting at least 50% dislikes and a bunch of comments along the lines of 1.5k views in 15 hours is crazy, but it's mind-blowing when you realize Dennis has over 500k subs.
Yeah, that as well. It's so mind-boggling when you see someone with an actual dead channel. It is possible.
With his own failure by uploading a video titled Unsubscribe Challenge.
I want to challenge everybody who's watching this video and is subscribed to this channel to unsubscribe. I want to see if we can break the record for being the most unsubscribed channel in the history of this platform.
This would mark the first of many insane Def Noodles.
That's the worst like reverse psychology I've ever seen.
And of course, the Unsubscribe Challenge Part 2.
You know, I don't ask for much in life. One of those things would be for you to unsubscribe right now.
Which many of his audience were happy to oblige. Over on Reddit, OKP compiled 20 different videos which failed to achieve a single view despite being hours old, while a different user questioned if Def Noodles had the least watched channel views to subscribers ratio. Ironically, Def Noodles has since tried to mirror Penguin Zero by launching Def Noodles New, and while some of his takes are surprisingly well put, his thumbnail game and more notably his reputation are still in need of some serious work.
It does look awful, yeah, that is true. You can always tell by the thumbnail. It is kind of sad because I want to know, what did he actually do in the beginning to get like 500,000, where I feel like if he broke past that 1 million sub barrier, he would have done well. But it's such a bizarre case where like he does so close to getting through it, but they have one mishap. It wasn't a mishap, it was true awful comedy shows that made him look like a fool. It made everyone hate him. It's funny because I'm trying to think, would it have been better to just like make the shows and not respond? I feel like once you have a channel, like a big one like Most Critical attacking you and the fans, you legitimately have no defense you have, no matter like what kind of points you have in the apology video. Plus it doesn't help that he was so snide, being like, oh, I want to apologize to Most Critical, you know, like it would have been way better to just like at least take it on the chin and at least accept it, you know. There's nothing more painful to me than seeing someone bomb at a stand-up and then act like everyone else in the audience or watching the video is the one that doesn't get comedy. I have never seen that work fully. Like it's always them that's like has an issue with making good jokes and then taking on the chin. I feel like one critical part of being a comedian, like he said, that, you know, took classes, it's at least accepting when you just bomb. Like there really is no way to go against it. So even though I wish I knew a method on how to like deal with that drama, I can definitely say it wasn't what he did, where like he just made like just people hating on him non-stop. So it's good to see that with him, he's the one person that died off and just massively, but he deserves it. When you make that kind of like horrible content and just like response videos, you legitimately, what do you expect apart from just like losing subs and losing views as well? Like, God.